Hi everyone, Bill here, and welcome to entry number 5 of Burton Month! Today we are talking about Batman Returns. First, a little backstory. After the success of Batman, Warner Brothers wanted to do a sequel, but Tim was sort of on the fence because he explained that the first film was a rough experience because the studio was up his ass. So, he said he would come back under one condition, that he would be given complete creative control. And they did. And how did it turn out? Is it good? Is it bad? Let's figure it out. Okay, so a couple played by Paul Rubens and Diane Salinger have given birth to something so horrible and deformed they decide to throw it off a bridge and drown it. Yeah, isn't this getting off to a great start? And is then the baby is then picked up and raised by a bunch of penguins. So years later, the baby is now an adult Oswald Cobblepot, aka the Penguin, played by Danny DeVito, and has his gang, the Red Triangle Gang, crash Gotham City's Christmas festivities. You guessed it, it's a very Burton Christmas! And kidnaps Gotham business tycoon Max Schreck, played by Christopher Walken. So he brings him down to the lair, and he wants Shrek to help him find his parents and ascend to the earth. Shrek first disagrees, but the penguin's got some shit on him, so he decides to do it, but he's got his own motivations. Shrek is trying to build a power plant, and the mayor is not letting him, so he comes up with this genius plan to have the penguin run for Gotham City mayor. But wait, the election already passed. Well, have the penguin's goons terrorize Gotham, which would force a recall election, and then have the penguin win the mayorship. Yeah, it's just as confusing as it sounds. So that's the plan. But wait, there's more. Actually, no. Oh, wait, there is more. Actually, but the Penguin is having a plan to kill all the firstborns of Gotham. Yeah, it's hinted at first he's just writing random names down, but then he decides to go kill all the firstborns of Gotham, just like his parents did to him. But wait! There's more! Shrek's secretary, oh, I'm sorry, executive assistant, Selina Kyle, played by Michelle Pfeiffer, has discovered that Shrek's plan is to actually suck power from Gotham through his power plant. So when Shrek finds out that Selina finds out, he throws her out a window and presumably kills her until she's nibbled on by cats, brought back to life, puts on a leather-tight cat suit, and becomes Catwoman. But wait! There's more! Batman is in this film, and he, once again played by Michael Keaton, and wants to stop Penguin, Catwoman, to a lesser extent, Shrek. But wait, there's more! No, actually, that's about it. Yeah, as you can tell, this film is so damn convoluted. There's too many damn plots in this movie. Like, first we're talking about the Penguin ascending to the earth to find his parents and killing all the firstborns. Then we're talking about Max Shrek's power plant. And then we're talking about Selina Kyle getting revenge on Shrek. And then Batman fighting them. That's like 4 plots. This movie is just a mess. Okay, you know what? First, let's address this. This has what most comic book movies has, and that is Multiple villain syndrome. There's just too many damn villains. You got the Penguin, you got Shrek, and you got Catwoman. I feel like when Sam Raimi was writing Spider-Man 3, he was probably watching Batman Returns like, hey, let's do that. So, yeah, there's just too much going on. And, like, there's, like, big plot when when Selena finds out about what the power plant's gonna do, it's basically never mentioned again. Okay, I think it's mentioned this one time with Bruce, but after that, it's not mentioned again. Okay, Shrek is, once in a while he has a line that's funny. I love Christopher Walken, but he's just boring. Why did he need to be in this movie? He was just basically a throwaway character, and basically he was just there to push the plot along. And finally, in this round, we talk about the Penguin. I'm sorry, I think he's just freaking creepy. Listen, I know I ranted about comic book purists in my previous Batman review, but this one, the Penguin is supposed to be smart. He's supposed to be a good businessman. Like, it's left up to different interpretations, but he's just, and on top of that, he's just a perv. Like, there's a scene when he's putting a campaign button on a woman, goes, here, have a button. He's doing it slowly to touch her breast. Yeah, it's just, listen, I never really read the comics, but I remember watching the animated series when I was a kid, and the Penguin was not like that. Okay, but another thing, okay, I don't really blame DeVito because I think this was more of a writing and a tonal thing than it was an actual performance thing because I think his performance was actually decent. It's just I just don't think the writing was there. And what makes this whole thing confusing is the in the first two acts, the Penguin he's first revered after he saves the mayor's baby in a stunt, but he's first well liked, and then in the third act, people turn on him. Tim, this has been done before. You should know it because you directed that said film. It's called Edward Scissorhands. And the reason why it worked in Edward Scissorhands is because Edward was kind, he was innocent, he was likable. Penguin isn't. Okay, he's a villain. He's not supposed to be kind and innocent and likable. But you can't use one formula for a character who's innocent and likable and use the same formula for someone who isn't innocent and likable. It doesn't make sense. I just. And here's where it comes. I'm going into a bit of spoiler territory, but here's the thing. If you haven't seen this movie, skip to about here. So, after the Batman beats Penguin, Penguin dies, and he's then carted off into the water by a bunch of penguin pallbearers. Yeah, it's just as stupid as it sounds. It's just as stupid as it sounds. And then he's floated away. And it's kind of sending mixed messages. We're supposed to be cheering for his downfall, but yet at the same time find it tragic. Anyway, and also just a lot of this stuff is just so stupid. Like when the first plan of killing all the firstborns doesn't go right. You know what his second plan is? Penguins with freaking missiles on their backs. I'm like, how dumb can this get? And another thing is the tone. It's just too dark. And don't get me wrong, I like dark stuff, but when there's a joke, it just comes out weird and uncomfortable. And you can't enjoy anything. But in the first one, there was a balance. This, it's just too dark and creepy. Okay, but I will give the Penguin credit. There is actually some jokes that I did find funny, like when he takes over the whatchamacallit, the Batmobile. That part makes me piss my pants laughing. Welcome to the Oswald Cobblepot School of Driving. I think it's a good time for me to mention my license is expired. That's funny. That is actually pretty funny. But other than that, yeah, those are my issues with the film. Okay, now let's talk about the good stuff. Because there actually is some good stuff in this movie, believe it or not. One, it's creative, like the Red Triangle Gang, and as much as I bitched about the penguins with missiles on their back, you can at least give Tim credit for creativity. But okay, Michael Keaton's back. He's not really in it that much, but Michael Keaton's Batman is always good, but what I like about him in this one is we actually get to see smart Batman. It's not just him kicking ass in a suit. He's also like hacking the computers to screw up the penguin's speech and to screw over the penguins with missiles on their back. Like that's cool. That's being smart. Now let's talk about the thing everybody talks about. Michelle Pfeiffer as Catwoman. I think she's absolutely fantastic. She's dark. She's sexual. That's what comes in mind when you think of Catwoman. And she just has so many good one-liners, and she's just so. Yeah, what I like about her is, yeah, the origin is stupid with the cats nibbling on her fingers and the whole thing about her having 9 lives. Is that they don't have the cats be the catalyst. It's more that she has been basically a battered secretary by Shrek. Because, in the beginning of the film, Shrek berates her. Max Shrek berates her, and she just snaps. And also, what I really like is the chemistry between her and Michael Keaton. Because here's the thing: if you remember my first review, I did not like Kim Basinger. I thought she was boring. I thought she was kind of bland. But here, she's Michelle Pfeiffer is just so much more interesting. And with Catwoman, you have different interpretations, like Anne Hathaway in The Dark Knight Rises. When I first heard she was going to be Catwoman, I'm like, oh, the chick from the Princess Diaries. She's not who I think when I think of Catwoman. I think of someone dark and sexual. But I like her. I like Michelle Pfeiffer better. But like I said with Keaton and Bale and Ledger and Nicholson, is if you like Michelle Pfeiffer's Catwoman, awesome, you have that. If you have, if you like Anne Hathaway's Catwoman, awesome, you have that. All right. I also like the score. It's a little weird. It has that epicness, but it also has like this quirky, creepy circus music, which is interesting. But I kind of like the score of the first one better. Now, okay, I know people who actually like this movie better than the first one. This actually has a higher score on Rotten Tomatoes than the first one. This has an 80%, Batman has 71%. But I actually like the first one better. I I don't think this is awful. Like some people think this is worse than Batman and Robin, which I disagree. It's not as good as the first one, but it's not Batman and Robin. But the thing is, this movie is a giant convoluted mess. And it's not as good as the first one. It's too dark, it's too confusing, too many damn plots, but it's not awful though. So I'm going to give Batman Returns between a C and a C minus. And sadly, this was the last Batman film between Keaton and Burton because critics found this movie to be too dark and too sexual. And then Warner Brothers wanted to make something more safe and marketable. So Burton was out, Keaton was out, and in came Joel Schumacher, may he rest in peace, to make those two movies that we will not discuss. Um, but fun fact, they actually, I don't know if McDonald's does this anymore, but they used to do promos for movies, and they had one scheduled for Batman Returns, due to the nature of the film, McDonald's pulled it, and they didn't sell toys from that. Okay, those are my thoughts on Batman Returns. Shoot me down in the comments below. Tell me your thoughts. And thanks for watching. And next time, folks, boys and girls of every age, wouldn't you like to see something strange? That's right, we're doing it. Tune in next time as I review The Nightmare Before Christmas. Thanks, guys. Take care.